Shalom, everyone who comes across this video. Um, I'm making this video because a few things, I don't know, maybe just to vent, basically, and just to kind of, maybe if someone comes across this video and can relate to what I've been through here lately. A while back, I was going through this point um, in my life where I was really wanting to make some changes and also become closer to the Most High and trying to find individuals I could, me and my son could take that journey with, I guess, for lack of better words. Um, but for whatever reason, I kind of removed myself out of that situation. Nothing really bad about the people that I was associating myself with. But sometimes the best thing for a person to do is kind of move on. And that was a decision, a choice that I decided to make for myself, for peace of mind. Definitely closure on some things, and just to keep it I don't know, kind of just to keep it safe, I guess, for me and I don't mean safe by I felt threatened, I felt like I would be harmed anyway, but sometimes when you deal with certain people who has you have a past with, sometimes things don't really work out too well, basically. But the other day, my ex-husband and I had a conversation on the phone, and before me and him had even became lovers, like years before I was, had any knowledge of the truth, me and him were friends. Like, we was friends for a whole year before we even slept with each other. And then when we slept with each other, I don't know, it just kind of, it just went into this relationship, this love, this companionship that I've really never experienced since. And I'm in my heart and mind, it tells me that because me and him became friends, genuine friends first, it's kind of like what took it to that next level. Well, needless to say, we were both young, so a lot of things contribute to us parting ways and eventually getting a divorce. But I was having I've had a lot of doubts with myself concerning truth and knowledge, and like where I am in the when people say show yourself approved, study, and excuse me, sometimes what I have learned just a few days ago was that he called. He's a truck driver now, so he was out on the road, and I'm pretty much a third shift worker, and so at this particular time, I was working third shift, taking care of an old lady, and he called, and I don't know how it happened, but we ended up getting on the subject of the Bible. And when we were together, this man, at one point in his life, he actually wanted to be a minister. So, but as we started to talk, well, okay, let me back it up. He, at one point in his life, wanted to become a minister when he was younger. But now here recently, I guess, I believe I asked him how long has he been feeling this way. I became an atheist. I think he said maybe 4 or 5 years. And so now he's a man that doesn't believe in the most, he doesn't believe in the Bible, but he believes that there's a higher power, but he doesn't believe in the Bible. Okay. And so we got to talking about this Bible, and somehow, I always take my Bible with me when I go to work. Whether I have two jobs, I do home care with one job, and then I work in a factory production at another car. I mean, at another job. I'm sorry. So as we having this conversation, I'm just listening. I'm not trying to be argumentative or debative. I'm just listening to him basically. And as he's talking and he's bringing up certain stories that he's had some confusion with, and saying, "Oh well, how is that even possible?" And I even remember him saying to me at one point, he was talking about the story where the man was in the belly of the beast, which was the well, for 3 days, and the well regurgitated him, and he was still alive and thriving. And he said to me, if you think that is possible, then we had nothing to talk about. And I asked him a question. I said, I'm just gonna say R. I'm not gonna say his name. Say R. R is the ex-husband. I was like, well, R, I said, I have a question for you. I said, with everything that we have going on, I said, the technology that we have today, the science that you want to put in front of the Most High and His works. I said, now, if we didn't have all this entertainment, I said, would you recognize a miracle when you seen it? And he paused. And I waited. And he said, you know what? Probably not. But what is America? A streak of luck. And I said, and it's funny to me now, but this is the mentality that so many of us have because we have lack of faith, and I'm not sitting up here trying to exclude myself from that, because that is something that I am and will continue to work on the number of days that I breathe breath in my body. Some things I have total faith in, and then other things, I struggle with because I'm looking at it surfacely and not spiritually, and it's taking me time. I'm not going to say what it takes for the next person, but it's taking me time to get that under control. Okay. But the more of the story is, like I said, I always take my Bible with me, whether I'm able to take it into my other job or not. Most of the time, if it's in my book bag, it's in the car. Or when I do home care, I definitely take it in with me because, I have a lot of downtime when I'm dealing with one-on-one care. Um, so as he's speaking, I pulls my Bible out, and and while he was and I've always been one to say I don't remember books. I don't remember verses. But that night, I guess the Ruach, the Most High, was working with me to point things out to him. And I was opening up this Bible and moving to pages that I didn't know for myself that I knew, and then I may not have, but I was a vessel at that moment to help a dear friend of mine understand some things. And a lot of the time he would say, and these is things that he brought up that he was disputing. And as I broke it down to him, it was like, well, I can't argue that. I can't argue that. But his thing is he didn't believe in it because he felt like if the Bible's been tampered with or things been taken out of the Bible, then it's not the full truth. In his mentality, he feels like the Bible should be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, you know what I'm saying? It should be in order. And I said, but you got to understand, the people that took things out of this Bible, took things out of it for a reason, you know. And I told him, I said, sometimes you got to look at things from a spiritual aspect. I said, sometimes reading the Bible, you can use your common sense. And I told him, I said, I've always thought that I've had elementary thinking concerning the Bible, like I wasn't on certain levels compared to other people. But as I pulled myself away and I started interacting with others, others and started interacting with me, and I was able to pull these things, I started to amaze myself. And this is no joke, no lie. And I was like, and it's been a few days since me and I had this conversation, but even to the point to where I was over my mother's fiance's house, and my uncle, my sons, my mother's fiance, one of his friends was over there, and the topic came up again, and I broke some other things down to him, and it was just amazing because I was able to pull it up on my phone and show them what I was talking about. But then as we went verses up, it solidified what I was talking about because it all came together, and you know what I'm saying? It was just, and it was amazing. It was amazing to me. It really was. And I just wanted to share that. I don't, I guess, sometimes I belittle myself, or, not give myself enough credit with the growth that I have obtained. And sometimes we don't really know what we've grown in until it's challenged. And you know, sometimes being challenged could either make you hesitate, or it can make you get busy. You know, make you get with the program and be like, look, you know, that what you talking about, it has, let me clear this up for you. Let me make it so where you can understand, you know. And I think that was my struggle when I first started to really read the Bible. Like, I would read the Bible, but at some point, I would dry out. And what I mean by that is like, I would lose my concentration on what I was reading. So um, losing my concentration would make me not obtain what I was reading. So I wasn't getting any substance that I should have been getting from it. But I tell you this, since I have kind of closed the chapter on a lot of situations that was going on in my life, and I kind of dealt away with it, and you know, threw my hands up, washed my hands, dust my hands off, and stepped away from it. I have been a little bit more open, and and I'm not going to leave out that praying. I haven't really been doing too much fasting lately, but I'm looking into some things that I can do to fast, because with the main job that I have is very strenuous, and I do a lot of moving around, and I know that, you know, first going into a fast, you know, it can actually make you sick, and I don't want to, I don't like feeling sick. I'm sorry. I really don't. I don't like my stomach doing flips and turns, and, you know, hot flashes, and feeling like I gotta puke because my stomach is empty. I don't. So I'm looking into different avenues I can do to fast, and when I want to start that fast. What would be the appropriate time for me to start the fast? Because I know, at least for the first 24, 72 hours, you know, you need to at least be able to rest while you fasting, until your body gets adapted to that fasting process that you're going through. But you know, that's neither here nor there. I just, you know, I don't know. I just wanted to make this video just to let you know, people that are consider themselves a babe in the truth, and things, you know, don't doubt yourself. And this is just inspirational speaking, you know what I'm saying? Don't doubt yourself. I've been there, and you know, I still go through it. But, you know, sometimes I have to tell myself, stop doubting yourself so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know more than what you realize you know. You know, and sometimes, like I said, that challenge to inform someone, to show the fruits of your work, you know, and when it comes along, you know, you will be impressed with the information that you actually hold within you, and what you don't have. If needed, the Most High, the Ruach, will step in and guide you into helping. And at the same time, you know, while you helping someone else, you helping yourself, because you're learning too. You know, you bringing, you recalling that history unto yourself, and that's like, and you know, just that, and we talk for hours. we talked for hours because I think he was on a 35-hour delay, like where he couldn't move his truck for 35 hours. So the last, and I was at that job for 12 hours. So basically, the whole time I was there, we talked on the phone, for almost 12 hours. It was parts in there where, I had to do something and I had to, I'll call you back. But for the most part, for 12 hours, we had this discussion. And it was amazing. And I've never talked to anyone that long about the Most High, about the Bible, since my earthly father. And that's real talk. Like, me and my father used to talk all the time about the Bible. And I miss that. I miss that. And especially like where I'm at now, you know, and I really don't have that. Even people that I know that's in the truth, I don't know. Even when I talk to them, I'm gaining information. I'm sponging things up as much as possible, and then I go back and I say, well, okay, I remember them talking about this book and this verse, and I would, go in it and see what I can obtain from that. But I don't know. I guess this video is kind of, all over the place. But I don't know. Now that I'm kind of settled back into my own space, I moved from a house into an apartment, which is cool. It's okay. It's not as big as what I used to, but um, it's okay. It's nice to be in my own space again, and I decided I would start making these videos and just start to share my experience. So I would just be posting random videos whenever I have the time, and it may be a few days after something happens or whatever, but for the most part, shalom, and peace and blessings be upon anyone that watches this video, and if you can relate to anything I said, I have a comment, as long as it's respectful and things, please leave it. I'm looking forward to conversing with having conversations and things like that with other people, women, things like that. So, like I said, shalom and peace be upon you, and I hope you have a beautiful and wonderful day.